when I started trying to understand my spiritual thrust, this is part 4, I think, of why Jesus is not the only way. And I started really wanting to understand this guidance that I had within me that I didn't really know how to communicate with. And so, I don't know, let me put this over here. And so, communicate with angels. There it is. Look at that. Don't that look yummy? I might have to give me a little bit of, just a little corner of that. But, when I started really trying to understand the messages that I was getting, God has a way of putting you where you need to go, right? And so somehow these people, Melissa Kitto, she used to be, it was called Communicate with Angels, but now I'm not sure what she calls her. Just look her up. Kitto. I think her website is still communicatewithangels.com, but she's something different on Facebook. And I always wondered why I always kind of wondered why she changed that. I wondered because I'm thinking maybe more because she wanted to be, I think it's a branding issue, but I sure hope it's not because she did it to make herself more pliable. I don't know. I don't know. It's called spiritual something now. But anywho, but she taught me how to have a direct communication with my angels. There are some people that believe in like kinesiology and what is it? I don't know. There's just a way that your body knows what's true and what's not true for you, and there's like different ways to do it. So this is just kind of one way. Again, Jesus is not the only way. This is just kind of one way that I have to this day still connect with spirit and my angels. Okay, so the idea is that we all have a team of angels or spirit guides. There's different beliefs about. I ain't talking about like Archangel Michael and Raphael and all of them. I don't disbelieve in them, but I'm specifically talking about our own personal guides. I think maybe some beliefs might call them ancestors, other beliefs. I'm looking for some shoes to put on because I want to go outside. And so I don't know what, but this is just what I learned and how she taught me how to talk to my angels and literally have a direct communication, like yes or no. If you want to learn how, go to her website and she can give you a reading, tell you how many angels you got in your camp, whether they male or female. You can also have a spiritual thrust reading, which is exactly what I'm getting ready to read to you as soon as I find this other shoe to put on so I can go outside. Since the other one live that I did, it It's no longer on live anymore. And so this is the spiritual thrust. Oh, here's this. Okay, let's see how long I can sit out here before these black mosquitoes come over here. A lot of time I come out here, they be like, oh, we've been waiting on you. Have y'all seen the black mosquitoes? They're like from Asia somewhere. Anywho, this is my spiritual thrust reading. This is so interesting. The back of this is one of them days I was in a very deep and dark place where I think that was going to be my first eviction notice, where I went on the internet begging for help like my mama hates that I do, which I realize now ain't nobody going to save me. I can only save myself. But anywho, so the spiritual thrust, you see where it says communicates with ease and flow? Oh, they're already out here. And the opposite of that is doubting myself and blocking the flow. So your spiritual thrust is basically a statement of what you're here to do on planet Earth. Like your purpose, I guess, could be pretty much a statement of what your purpose is, of what you're here to do on planet Earth. And so communicate with ease and flow is my spiritual thrust. The opposite of it is me doubting myself and blocking the flow. And so this is the impression that she got from my angels of what my spiritual thrust. Everybody has their own spiritual thrust and their statement of what they're here to do. And this is mine. And this is the impression that she got from my guidance of what my spiritual thrust is. And when I am living in my spiritual thrust, that is when I am living in God's purpose, in my purpose. So, Stacy, your spiritual thrust is the essence of the real you. When you are being your true self, you are naturally emanating the energy of your thrust. It is not something new that you have to learn or an assignment to take on. It is being your true self. And so, since 2011, since I got this reading, I pulled this out maybe about a couple of years ago because I pretty much had lost it. But I pulled it out a couple of years ago so I could hang it underneath my vision board so I can look at it every day as a reminder of what I'm here to do. And at the time, it made a little bit of a sense, but even more now today, it has made more sense to me. Because I noticed, because I noticed that when I don't live in my spiritual thrust, that's when I feel so unfulfilled. And I notice that I have not been living in my spiritual thrust for a long time. And this is the reason why I have been living in survival mode, basically. So there are many aspects to communicate. There are many aspects to communication. It is communication within yourself and communication with your inner guidance. It is important to keep your inner communication positive and constructive. You are more sensitive than most people. Therefore, any negative self-talk will throw you off your pivot point quite dramatically. And I experienced that a lot. Anytime you notice this occurring, just recenter and come back to the positive truth of you. And for a while there, I was like, what exactly is the positive truth of me? And I was looking at this today, I know for one thing, it's like I feel the best when I first wake up and I'm connecting with God every day, whether that is like I always like get a key word of what the day is, and then I'll journal. When I'm journaling every day, when I'm focusing on gratitude and what I'm grateful for, when I am keeping my inner communication, as it says, positive and constructive, either through the tools that I use through tapping or emotional freedom technique, or you know being in therapy and doing EMDR, or um, what have I been doing most recently? Self-havening, which is another tool for trauma, where you're kind of rubbing your shoulders up and down and doing inner child work and shadow work and just radical self-acceptance, all of these things to keep me in a positive mindset. And what is it, in order to keep my inner communication, my self-talk positive and constructive. When I'm doing all of these things consistently, things go a lot smoother, and I'm living in my spiritual thrust. So, but they're saying anytime you notice, because I'm more sensitive than most, meaning that I just pick up on things a lot. I'm very empathetic. I take on things very, very easily. Therefore, any negative self-talk will throw you off your pivot point quite dramatically. And that is so true. I just will go back to scrolling. The self-doubt comes in, then I'm sabotaging, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, then the guilt and the shame, then I'm eating too much, or I'm drinking too much, or I'm smoking too much, or I'm doing something to kind of that just, again, it just really fucks me up. It says anytime you notice this occurring, just recenter and come back to the positive truth of you. And the positive truth of me is peace and ease and alignment and free from worry and stress and being abundant and having money and high self-esteem and not worrying about what people think, and just being happy. So the next aspect to your communication is to connect and share with the people around you who are close to you. The key to this communication is to flow with your feelings, share openly, and again, keep your vibration positive. This I kind of have been struggling with a little bit, because I feel like when I do connect and share with the people around me who are close to me, and what is it saying? The key to this communication is to flow with your feelings, share openly, and again, keep your vibration positive. But I guess I need to know who to do that to, because I be feeling like that's what I be doing, but people don't be liking that. They find when I'm sharing openly, sometimes people just don't like that. They see it as me being preachy, or me trying to I don't know, I guess keep your vibration positive. I know I do recognize that sometimes maybe, well, especially with my kid, I can maybe be too critical of things, or because I know that's what it is, because I see problems. I'm like a problem solver, and I see problems that I just be wanting to get in there. And I guess I need to be aware of sharing openly with the people that are ready for me to share. That's it. and not give unsolicited advice. Yeah. There's a balance there, because there's some that I feel like, a lot of times I'm just being who I am. I'm not trying to coach people or trying to give advice. I'm just sharing and being who I am. But sometimes, I don't know, a lot of times I guess I'll be feeling misunderstood, and some people just receive me in a different way. And that causes me to doubt myself and to block the flow and to stop myself from sharing. But the reading gets to that. Anywho, then there is the bigger picture aspect of communication. And this is what you are being most drawn to at this time, because it is the one that has been most lacking in your daily life. And this was back in 2011. This is about having a broader reach to share and outflow what you have put together for yourself, what I have put together for myself. So that means all the things that I've been learning, all the things that I've been going through, all the wisdom, all the trials and tribulations, the good and the bad. I'm supposed to be communicating that with ease and flow. It is the one that has been most lacking in your daily life, according to this reading. This is about having a broader reach to share and outflow what you have put together for yourself. Immediately on reading your spiritual thrust, this is Melissa reading this, Melissa Kitto reading, this is her reading. Immediately on reading your spiritual thrust, I saw an inner vision of you standing on stage in front of a room of people, speaking and inspiring. In truth, this is where you need to be. Wow. I usually, when I would read that, I read it like 3 or 4 times today. Because I really wanted that to sink in. Like, she says she saw an inner vision of you standing on stage in front of a room of people, speaking and inspiring. In truth, this is where you need to be. Now, I have had a couple of... I'm tired of holding this damn phone. I have had a couple... What can I do? Can I prop this up? Because I'm tired of holding this. I have had a couple of quote unquote speaking engagements. One in particular at the library. This guy just saw me on the internet and wanted me to come and speak. And I really didn't have no plan or what I was going to say. I just got up there and rambled. And I kind of realized then, yes, that I am not a public speaker per se. So there was that. I hope y'all can hear me, because I really want to keep listening to my subliminal on my other phone instead of putting my earbuds in. And so, but I've realized now that I don't know if it's a stage per se. So when I hear that and she says, I saw an inner vision of you standing on stage in front of a room of people. I don't know. Stage, I don't know about stage. Maybe stage this could be a stage. This, I don't know. I guess I kind of like reject that. There's a level of rejecting that idea, because who am I to be on a stage? Who am I? That's that self-esteem, worthiness thing. But anyway, but then there's a level of me within that's like, in truth, that is where I need to be. Whatever the platform is, it might not be a physical stage where I'm like looking down on people, which kind of feels, there's that shame of feeling like, oh, I don't deserve to be, I feel like I should be more humble or something, or I don't want people to think I'm too big for my britches, or I don't want people judging me, or who am I? All of that comes up when I think about reading this and what she's saying. So moving on, the communication does not need to be difficult. It's simply about sharing your knowledge, your tools, your feelings and experiences. You get to be yourself. And I'll be feeling like, but do I? I get to be, but then when I am myself, then the judgment comes. And I guess the lesson is, damn the judgment. I feel like I got something I need to share. I need to just be sharing it and not worrying about it. I apologize for this background, but I don't feel like turning around. I don't feel like moving. So, anywho, another key word in your spiritual thrust is ease. Two dictionary definitions of this word are absence of difficulty or effort, and freedom from worries or problems. Now, see, this goes back to my fears about being able to share with the people around me who are close to me. It says, when you are being your true self in your true feelings, there is no difficulty, effort, worries, or problems. If you are experiencing any of that, it has come from someone else's point of view. Right? So I kind of just answered my own question. That concern about me sharing openly says the key to this communication with the people that are around me, that are close to me, is to flow with my feelings, share openly, and again, keep my vibration positive. So as long as I'm doing that, there shouldn't be no difficulties. There shouldn't be no worries. And if I am experiencing any of that, it's coming from them, not me. If you are experiencing any of that, it has come from someone else's point of view. That's the reminder. Nothing is wrong with me. I didn't do anything wrong. I have to remember to affirm myself of that when I'm feeling like I'm just being myself and then somebody's annoyed with me for just being myself. I find a lot of times, and a lot of that in my past has come from people just hating. Just some hating ass people, some hating ass, miserable ass people, hating ass, miserable ass, either or and or people that just don't want to see you do well. For the most part, there are some times when there's just a that people don't have malicious intent, and then they just are triggered by me, and then I'm triggered by them being triggered. And so my responsibility to myself is to maintain my boundaries and to just still affirm myself and know that that's their triggers are their responsibility and my triggers are my responsibility. So, moving on, realize that your spiritual thrust is not an assignment. It is not something new that you have to learn or take on. In truth, it is the essence of who you are when you are being all caps you. You, Stacy, you. It is not something new that you have to learn or take on. In truth, it is the essence of who you are. My spiritual thrust is communicate with ease and flow. What I'm doing right now is living in my spiritual thrust. It's the essence of who you are. And when you are being you, that's it. To help you anchor this, recall some times in your life when you have felt ease and flow with your communication. Simply be like that more of the time. And there are times that I can look back and be like, oh, okay, now I might not be a public speaker, but there are times when like I am a joiner of groups and a curator. Ooh, that was a good one. A curator of groups. It smell like Sunday afternoon getting your hair pressed. That's what that smell like. And I used to run these meetup groups. When Meetup, if anybody remembers that, meetup.com, where you just have like different topics, and I would have like little go to the what was one of them was the intuitive dating meetup group, where I would have these meetups with these ladies in the library, and I would just come up with a topic and we would have a conversation back and forth. I never really like or gel with, and I guess that's why I don't like the idea of standing in front of a stage and like lecturing. I'm very much community. Want to build community and bring everybody together, and we have meaningful discussions. These meaningful discussions, and like everybody, let's all work it out. That's or have a topic of discussion that we can talk about, and I can share my wisdom, and then you can, I feed off of people asking questions and wanting to share my knowledge and my tools and my wisdom in order to help people and to contribute. So that's where I feel like my stage is. And being more comfortable with this sharing on video, all of this is, I believe it's part of it. My platform, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. I would love to grow my YouTube channel in order to be able to just do this, making money being myself. Because that's what y'all said I should be doing. Anywho, realize that your spiritual... Okay, I already read that. To help you anchor this, I read that too. Okay, so to help you anchor this, recall some times in your life when you have felt ease and flow with your communication. Simply be like that more of the time. Stacy, this right here. Be like this more of the time. And flow is the final essential word of your thrust. Flow is an energy that is in motion, that is building. You cannot stop the flow of the energy of you. It is who you are. No. So you're trying to get me. Simply by putting One foot in front of the other. Y'all not getting me today. One foot simply. See, they keep saying simply. Because remember, communicate with ease and flow is my spiritual thrust. We're not supposed to toil. We're not supposed to toil. We're not supposed to be working hard. Especially women. I really don't feel like it's just not feminine. The energy of femininity is not working hard. This soft life idea, I very much resonate with that, and I am looking forward to having that and giving that to myself. I know I'm not going to wait on no man to do it for me, but whenever he come, he is going to also want to offer that to me. But I look forward to creating that for myself first. Because I have worked like a Hebrew slave since I was 16. I've paid my dues in every area of work that I've ever been in. And I feel like now I deserve to live in a soft life. I deserve that. And flow. Yeah, so simply by putting one foot in front of the other, you will flow. Anytime you put up a roadblock or resist, you are living the opposite of your thrust. I'll be putting up a lot of roadblocks. And remember, the opposite of my spiritual thrust is doubting myself and blocking the flow. Doubting myself and blocking the flow. So anytime I doubt myself or I block the flow, I'm living the opposite of communicating with ease and flow, which is my spiritual thrust. If you actually relaxed more, these words, actually, simply, how many times is simply in here? You know, sharing openly, in truth, this is where you need to be. You know, saying that the communication doesn't need to be difficult. It's simply about sharing your knowledge, your tools, your feelings, and experiences. You get to be yourself. Like, I get to be myself. But if you actually relaxed more and simply, there's that word again, trusted the process, you would flow to your success and ease. Period. That's it in a nutshell. So basically, all I got to do is stop worrying. You know, notice when, be aware of my guidance. Trust in God. Continue to trust the process. Stop worrying about what people think about me and my faith and my walk and what I'm doing. Relax. I would flow to my success and ease. I would be successful. I would have the soft life. I would be abundant. I would be rich. There's still some sting when I say that word, rich. There's still a level of feeling doubtful, like saying abundant. Yeah. That's really smoky. Saying abundance feels better and less, I guess, evil than saying, don't want to say filthy rich, but like the stuff that I want to do, like I have to be rich, right? I have to. So that's my number one goal, is to get out of this lack and believe in myself and stop doubting myself that I can create the abundance and life that I want. And I can make a whole lot of money doing just this, doing whatever the hell I want, pouring into people, pouring into myself, being able to sit out on my veranda, having my lake house that I dream of having, overlooking the mountains and, the water, being in nature, me and my child having this mutually loving and respectful relationship, me with my heavily melanated man that is also into me and God as much as I am, who loves and adores me and my baby, who's funny as fuck, who's also rich, the fuck, who also loves pouring into other people and is working on himself and spiritually developing himself and family oriented and all of that and all of that. I deserve all of that. I deserve all of that. I believe I deserve all of that. And I'm going to continue to trust. Oh, the leaves are starting to change. I'm going to continue to trust God and trust that all my needs are provided for and that He is working in miraculous ways. Got me. He is working in miraculous ways, and God goes before me and prepares my way sure. I trust and believe that everything is always working out for me. I trust that every day is getting better and better. I trust that I'm in my highest timeline. I trust that God is working in my favor. And I am living in my highest timeline, and yeah. I can have the life of my dreams. Show me how God, show me how good it's going to get. And let everything align perfectly. I read those two affirmations, the last two, I can't remember. One of them I remember comes that I heard one of my favorite people I follow on Instagram, Bree Brown and her husband. I love them so much, her and her family. And I believe I'm going to meet her one day too. I just really resonate with her and her message, and I always feel so inspired by her. Yeah, and I see myself in her as well. Anywho, on that note, so now I'm gonna just spend today, this Memorial Day, finishing editing and uploading all of these very long videos, and I hope that I hope this message resonates. And as always, I hope it blesses somebody. And I hope that whoever you trust and believe in, whoever you trust and believe in, your relationship with them is your personal relationship, and don't let anybody make you feel like something's wrong with you. If it's working for you, it's working for you. All right? Is there anything else I need to say, God? Anything else that wants to come through? Yeah, I feel very grateful. I hope this blesses somebody.